What's up, fellow knife nuts? So yesterday I took a trip up to my local Cabela's because I heard they had the Cryo 2 in stock from Kershaw. And I really wanted to get my hands on it and compare it to the original Cryo, just to get an idea of, its size difference, if there was any aesthetic differences, and put all that together in a video for you guys, as there really isn't much comparison out yet between the two blades. The Cryo 2 is brand new to market. It was introduced at SHOT Show in 2013. And it's just recently starting to hit some store shelves, with Cabela's being the exclusive distributor on it right off the bat here, and other retailers should be getting it fairly soon. So what you see in front of you is the Cryo 2. So I'm going to be going through again some up-close high-def shots of the blade. We'll do some comparison to the Cryo 1, and then I'll just kind of give you my overview on this particular knife. So let's start off with doing some up-close shots of it. So there's that real nice drop point blade that's really, reminiscent, almost identical to the Cryo 1. It's got Kershaw's logo there. All blackened hard door on this, just like the original Cryo. It does use their, let's see what they call it, titanium carbonitride coating on the whole surface of the blade, the handle, and the actual blade itself. It is four-way reversible on the pocket clip, as you can see. Some nice jimping on the top. And it is a flow-through pillar constructed blade. So you can see those nice blackened pillars. And what I really like is this back one is actually a tube for your lanyard hole. You can see that there. It's a nice little attention to detail. Really shows the thought and execution that went into this particular knife. The Cryo 1 is the same. So flipping around to the back side here, you've got the same frame lock mechanism with the Hinderer stabilizing disc. Just prevents the locking bar from traveling farther than it needs to and overextending. You have Kershaw's deep carry pocket clip with their logo on it. Give you a side view of that. One of the best pocket clips, as I said in my Thermite overview. I just love their pocket clips, they're great. And then on this side of the blade you can see patented Hinderer design. So again, Rick Hinderer design blade, just like the Cryo 1. This is model number 1556 Ti. It is made in China with 8CR13 MOV steel. You do have some jimping on the underside here as well. Give you guys a shot of the lockup on this particular knife, as well as the blade centering, which is pretty much perfection. Really great knife. I'll show you guys the deployment here. So nice and fast with that what do they call it? Speed safe assisted opening technology. A little flip of your finger on that flipper and the blade just comes flying out. You can use the thumb deployment as well. I'm not a big fan of it though. It is a little stiff to deploy right as you're starting to get that spring loaded there. So it's a little bit easier to just use the flipper. Show you kind of the thickness on the blade there with those thumb studs. So they do have some traction on them. Fairly easy to get your thumb on. Show you that tip of the blade there. Razor sharp out of the box, as most Kershaws are. Just an excellent knife. I'll go through now and give you guys the specs on this particular blade. The overall length is 7.75 inches. The blade length is 3.38 inches with a closed length of 4.38 inches. It weighs 5.37 ounces. Again, uses the 8CR13 MOV stainless steel with that matte gray titanium carbonitride coating over the stainless steel, giving it that really unique look. Now, let's pull in the Cryo 1 and do a little bit of a comparison here so you can see the size difference, and then I'll run through the specs of the Cryo 1 just to kind of give you an idea of their differences. So on the Cryo 1, you're going to be looking at an overall length of 6.5 inches, a blade length of 2.75 inches, and a handle length of 3.8 inches, weighing in at 4.1 ounces. Otherwise, everything else, the steel, the coating is all going to be the same. So you can see from there that there is a pretty significant difference when it comes to the size of these two blades. Give you a shot here from the back of the blades. So what you can notice from the back here, if you look at the locking bar on the frame lock for the Cryo 2, you can see that it's smooth straight across. Where on the Cryo 1, right in here, you have the cutout to allow the locking bar to flex outwards to disengage it. Now this has the cutout on the Cryo 2, it's just inside the frame itself. The other thing you'll notice is there's a color fill on the pocket clip on the Cryo 1 for the Kershaw logo, where on the Cryo 2 they left it completely black. Those are really the biggest differences I can see between the two blades. Thumb studs are virtually identical. Everything else is going to be pretty much exactly the same. Just a bigger version with the Cryo 2 is really what you're getting. So let's give you some in-hand shots so you can really see how this looks in the hand and the size difference between the two. So here is the Cryo 2. See there in my hand. Go upwards view like this. So you can see how much is actually protruding from the bottom of this knife when I grip it. Your index finger rides right up in that finger trail, which is created by the flipper. Thumb falls nicely right on that jimping, which is very usable. But it's got a really nice feel in hand. Fits very well, great ergonomics, but you do have that nice extra handle to grab onto there. So pull this one out of the way and we'll do a comparison here to the Cryo 1. So when I get this in my hand, there's virtually nothing left out of the bottom there. You can see my pinky kind of wraps right around that little edge there at the bottom, and that's how it grips. So still very comfortable in the hand, but just gives you an idea of, that size difference. How much smaller in hand it really is. The other thing you really notice is the width this way. This, you kind of wrap a lot more around it to get a grip, where on the 2 you don't have to do that. I'll show you that again quick here. So it's much thicker from the width perspective in your hand. Now speaking of width, let's look side to side here. And I don't really see a whole lot of difference between the two. So from that perspective, they're going to be about the same width, which is nice. And for the size you added, I don't think they really added a whole lot of weight to the Cryo 2. So talking a bit here about, maybe some pros and cons of the blade, focusing mainly on the Cryo 2. Really, to me, the fit and finish is going to be just top notch. As I showed you, the blade centering. Oh, I forgot to show this. No wobble any direction in the blade, so lockup is nice and solid. I really don't see any cons, with the one exception. Other people have noted this. I noted it with my thermite overview. The pocket clip screws seem to be almost welded in place with Loctite. They do not budge at all. I've almost ruined 2 hex heads trying to get them out, so it's not moving. The Cryo 1 swapped very easily. As you can see, I have it tip up right now. No issues there. These new blades, not so much. So that's really kind of the one downfall. But other than that, I think, you know, Kershaw really did a great job in listening to their fans and addressing the #1 issue of the Cryo 1, which was size. You know, a lot of people that got it just said, great blade, love the design, you know, awesome value, it's just not big enough. So now they have the Cryo 2 to solve that issue. And if the Cryo 2 is too big for you, of course, fall back on little brother. So, you know, a knife to serve different purposes. You can always do what I did and just buy both. And that kind of solves that problem right there. But that's what I've got for you on this particular blade. Let me know, guys, if there's anything different you want to know about it. I can definitely respond in comments. Let me know what you thought of the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.